GALA. And the Taste of Laguna Food and Music Festival is Thursday, October 2nd, benefiting the Laguna Beach Chamber of Commerce. For more information on that, go online to tasteoflaguna.org. That's tasteoflaguna.org. And I'm Janice Murray with your community calendar on 1047 KXFM. And now, here's Dave.
It's going to be a pretty nice afternoon across Laguna Beach, Janice, and that trend is going to continue into Monday. Then we start a little bit of a warm-up, but it's not a Santa Ana flow, and it's certainly no heat wave, just a little bit warmer, kind of what we're used to in mid to late September. So this afternoon, mainly sunny skies, 72 at the beach, the Hilltop 74, the Canyon 71. Partly cloudy skies with another delightful evening on the way. More and more clouds, really getting cloudy after midnight. 62 for the low. On Monday, early clouds and sunshine, 74. Let's take it up to 75 on Tuesday. Upper 70s for Wednesday and Thursday. That's my forecast. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray. Tune in, turn on to KXFM 1047, Laguna's Community Radio.
I'm Marianne Williamson.
Jack Canfield.
Subonko Somé.
I'm Doreen Virtue.
My name is Miguel Reeves.
Hi, I'm Carolyn May.
This is James Van Prague.
Keep doing what you're doing, Greg. Balancing the negative radio broadcast with positive energies.
Listen to Inner Journey with Greg Friedman, Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m.
This disclaimer is a statement notifying listening audiences that any opinions expressed on our shows are not representative of Laguna Radio, Inc., its management, or its board of directors.
Dreams that you dream of once in a love. Your somewhere over the rainbow, over dream that you dream of, dream true. Someday when she falls down, the loves will be right.
Good morning here, Craig on Rainbow Radio. Another beautiful Sunday here in Laguna Beach. Actually, it is 67 degrees, which is typically it's 68. So we've gone down. Winter must be coming on quick. Glad you're here this morning. We have I put together a lot of information about what's going on in our world, but trying to keep on a happy note this time as much as possible. Sometimes that's difficult, but I'm continuing on in my effort to bring light where there's darkness and happiness where there's sadness. So that's my goal. Laguna Beach Pride does have its Christmas event planned, so you need to mark your calendars. That is confirmed that our official it's a fundraiser for the community, and this time the official recipients are the Laguna Pantry. They serve thousands of people, thousands of items of food every month, and Laguna Beach Pride is happy to support their efforts with the fundraiser, a holiday fundraiser. And, not everyone can afford a turkey dinner or even, I don't know, a ham sandwich on Christmas or during the holidays. So it seems appropriate that we support the Laguna Pantry in their effort to share food and good things in the community. So we're very happy to be there and do that. That is, it will be on, to mark your calendars, it's Sunday, December 14th. So it's Sunday. And Mozambique, I can't speak good enough about them. They have been so supportive, and we are back. We had an event not all that long ago there at Mozambique, but it will be at Mozambique, and from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's Sunday brunch, true Sunday brunch. And it is Endora headlining. She's going to sing a couple tunes this time as she calls the bingo, and we raise money. A lot of donations from local merchants that support this, and even some personal donations make it a very successful, hopefully very successful event. So that's a biggie, the biggie one that's coming up, and we're good with that. What do I have? So if you've tuned in the last couple of weeks, I've kind of gone on a little tirade about why does everyone want to diss California? I love California. I've got 5 generations of Californians in my blood here. And it seems, when you travel around, you say you're from California, often people go, oh, what's it like in California? Well, don't believe all the BS you hear out there about it, because it is, I love it. And I think a lot of people, they don't argue with the BS because they are happy with the way it is. If someone doesn't want it, then whatever, c'est la vie. So, yeah, that's I'm unanimous in that. Oh, here we go. Speaking of California, so this is my dissertation on California. Yes, California dreaming, the rest of the story. California, just the name carries a certain sunshine, doesn't it? For some, it's the rolling surf of Laguna Beach. Yes. For others, it's the mist cutting through San Francisco's Golden Gate. But beyond the palm trees and the movie stars, California is a place where firsts aren't just history, they're tradition. And let me explain. It was California that first gave America the motion picture industry, the skateboard, and yes, the very idea of farm-to-table dining, which is so popular now. California was first to legalize medical marijuana. I didn't know that. First to recognize marriage equality at the ballot box. Yes, and the first to build information superhighway, literally birthing Silicon Valley's global tech revolution. The state has always been more than sunshine. It's the world's 4th largest economy, larger than the United Kingdom. Powered by strawberries, software, space exploration, the dreams of 40 million people. It's where the nation's park system began with Yosemite, where renewable energy isn't just a slogan, but a growing reality, and where green is more than the landscape. It's a way of life. That's why we love it. And California is a state of quirks, too. Did you know the world's first fortune cookie wasn't baked in China, but in San Francisco? Or that Fresno grows more raisins than anywhere on Earth? I don't know why Fresno and raisins. It's just, and or that Death Valley once hit 134 degrees Fahrenheit, the hottest ever recorded on the planet. But what makes California truly great is its people. Yes, artists, dreamers, activists, and everyday folks who reinvent what's possible. From Hollywood's red carpets to the rainbow crosswalks of West Hollywood, from the farmlands of the Central Valley to the innovative hubs like San Diego, California is a living laboratory of freedom, creativity, and resilience. So, when people ask, why is California so great? Well, It's not just the beaches or the sunsets. It's the facts that here, the impossible is always possible. And in true California spirit, the best part of the story is still being written. Welcome to Rainbow Radio this Sunday, where every headline has a hidden truth and every story has a brighter side. Stay tuned for the story behind the story.
Your light, there's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you beyond all the nature. My only hope, help me to fly, help me make you happy. I, I just woke up from a dream where you and I had to say goodbye. And I don't know what it all means, But since I survived, I realized wherever you go, that's where I follow you. Nobody's promised tomorrow. So you every night. Be next to you. Oh, lost in the words that we sing. I don't even want to do this anymore. Ah, you are you mean to me, and I don't say wherever you go, that's where I'm. Nobody's promised tomorrow. Be next to you, right next to you, next to you, right next to you. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was soon, just for a while, and be next to you. I wanna be next to you.
Oh, yes, I want to be next to you. That was Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars in a collaboration there. I love that song. It's nice to be next to someone. Trust me. Now, unless here's a topic that I think tops all topics. Um, and I guess it's because I have a certain perspective, and I'm going to indulge. Please indulge me a little bit here. Um, when there's a disparaging difference between the haves and have-nots, it creates, I think, less than happy people all the way around, and that is actually the source of many things. When from homelessness to many of the maladies as a country, the USA is, I feel, experiencing as a result of this imbalance. But let me give you wealth and the middle class. Welcome. Every headline has a hidden truth, and every story has a brighter side. So stay with us. The story behind the story. Once upon a time, the promise of America was simple: work hard, play fair, and you could build a life of dignity. A modest home, a steady paycheck, a little left over to save or spend on summer vacation. It wasn't extravagant, but it was secure, and it was within reach of millions. But today, the map has shifted. The modest dream has become a mountain climb. The middle class in decline. For decades now, the middle class, the backbone of our democracy and the heartbeat of our economy, has been squeezed. Wages stagnated, even as the cost of living soared. The price of college education doubled, then doubled again. Housing, once affordable to the average family, has become a luxury in city after city. And while most Americans have tightened their belts, a small sliver at the very top has feasted. Today, the wealthiest 1% of Americans hold more wealth than the entire middle class combined. Think about that. 1% holding more than half of the country. We've been here before. It's not the first time America has faced imbalance. In the late 1800s, the Gilded Age was marked by extravagant mansions on Fifth Avenue, while factory workers lived in crowded tenements. Wealthy robber barons like Carnegie and Rockefeller controlled industries, while ordinary families barely scraped by. The backlash brought reform, antitrust laws to break up monopolies, labor protections for workers, and the rise of unions that gave ordinary people bargaining power. Out of that struggle, a stronger middle class was born. Then came the Great Depression. Wealth and concentrated again, speculation had replaced stability, and when the markets collapsed, millions were left destitute. Bread lines stretched around corners, banks shuttered. Hope was scarce. But again, America corrected course. Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal put people back to work, created Social Security, and built infrastructure that still serves us today. Unfortunately, some of it's pretty worn out, but I digress. The middle class emerged not just restored, but stronger. The ripple effects today and now, here we are again. The rise of the unhoused isn't just bad luck or personal failing. It's stagnant wages colliding with skyrocketing rents and the disappearance of affordable housing. The struggle for small businesses, it's not just competition, it's banks preferring billion-dollar corporations, landlords pricing out storefronts, and policies that reward monopolies while suffocating the little guy. The unrest in our streets, it's what happens when people work harder but feel poorer. When the promise of upward mobility is replaced with the reality of falling behind. History reminds us, societies don't unravel because of foreign enemies alone. They unravel when inequality grows so wide that hope itself feels like a rigged game. A country off balance. When wealth pools at the top, the middle dries up. And without a strong middle class, the economy weakens. Consumer demand shrinks, small towns wither, and politics turn poisonous as frustration boils into resentment. Boy, that's the truth. The truth is, the maladies of today's economy, homelessness, small business closures, unrest, and disillusionment are not accidents. They're symptoms of an economy that has forgotten its balance. So, what is the way back? The way back. The story isn't finished, not yet. The path forward is not envy or division, it's fairness. It's recognizing that prosperity is not a zero-sum game. It grows when it is shared. Tax codes that reward work, not just wealth. This is the way back. Policies that encourage competition, not monopolies. Affordable housing initiatives that give families stability. Renewed investment in small businesses, in diners, the print shops, the startups that fuel innovation and keep communities alive. And a commitment to restore the middle class as a center of gravity, not an afterthought. Because when prosperity is concentrated in the hands of a few, democracy trembles. But when it's spread across the hands of many, democracy flourishes. The rest of the story. And that, my friends, is the story behind the story. America has been here before, in the Gilded Age, the Great Depression. Each time we chose reform. Each time we restored balance. Each time we rebuilt the middle class. If we choose to do so again, we can not only heal the economy, we can heal a society. So what can we do? We don't wait for someone else to fix it, that's for sure. We don't sit on the sidelines. We vote. Not just every 4 years, but in every local election where housing policy, wages, and small business ordinances are decided. We hold leaders accountable, demanding policies that build up a middle class, not just a billionaire class. We support our neighbors, shopping local, mentoring young entrepreneurs, and standing up for workers who want a fair shake. And most of all, we speak up because silence only serves the status quo. America has faced these crossroads before, and every time change came when ordinary citizens refused to settle for less. The rest of the story is prosperity is not handed down from the top. That sound familiar? It's built from the middle out, and it begins when each of us decides to act for fairness, for opportunity, and for the common good. Every headline has a hidden truth, and every story has a brighter side. That is the story behind the story here on Rainbow Radio. There's a rainbow in every story. That's what I say. And who could say, here's a little love song to lighten things up.
A certain smile, a certain face can lead an unsuspecting heart on a merry chase. A fleeting glance can say so many lovely things. Suddenly you know why my heart sings. You love a while, and when love goes, you try to hide the tears inside cheerful pose. But in the hush of night, exactly like a sweet refrain, comes that certain smile to haunt your heart again. Comes that certain smile to hide your heart again.
My name is Henry Walker, and I'm a fourth-generation banker and CEO of Farmers and Merchants Bank. When my great-grandparents, Carrie and C.J. Walker, started F&M Bank 118 years ago, they made a pledge to help small businesses and working people achieve the American dream right here in a new land called California. We've been honing that vision ever since through 4 generations of family stewardship. We've worked to create a culture unlike any other bank in the nation, of purpose over profit, of service above self, of partnerships based on trust. We make banking personal. Our latest addition to the F&M family is our beautiful new Laguna Beach branch location at Glen Eyrie and Laguna Ave. We're here to help you realize your dreams of home ownership, financial planning, and starting or growing a business. Stop by. You never need an appointment. Our bankers are members of the community. They remember your name because we pride ourselves on genuine relationships, not transactional ones. F&M Bank, some things will always be. Stop by today. Member FDIC.
Oh, we love the people that support community radio here. And speaking of support, mark your calendars. KXFM's first gala. I prefer to call it gala. Some call it gala. Well, maybe I should call it gala. I don't know. That's interesting. Anyway, fundraiser is powered by community. It is happening Friday, September 26th. That's coming up right away at the Rivian Theater. We'll have food, drinks, and entertainment. And there is a suggested donation of $250, a minimum of $75. You can reserve your spot by just going to our website at kxfmradio.org and gala. It pops right in your face there. So community radio, we can't survive without the community, and we like to think that the community finds us an important and valuable asset that supports everyone and everything that goes on here. And that's what we're all about. We have over 80 volunteers, by the way. It is a commitment in the masses, I have to say. I have never heard of a business that has 80 volunteers. So there you have it. There must be a good reason behind that. So anyway, again, that is the KXFM's first gala fundraiser, and it's happening Friday, September 26th at the Rivian Theater. And you can get all the time and information and all the other stuff, etc., on kxfmradio.org. kxfmradio.org. That is our website. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on this day in history, here on Rainbow Radio, on this day in history, where we turn the calendar and remember moments that made us who we are. On September 9th, California becomes the 31st state of the Union. I did not know that. We just had our anniversary. Maybe we should divorce ourselves. I don't know. Did I say that? Anyway, without ever passing through the organized territory stage, California joins as a free, no slavery state under the Compromise of 1850. It's all there in Wikipedia if you want to research it. Also, on this date in 1776, the Continental Congress officially adopts the name United States of America, replacing the phrase the United Colonies. So, and that brings me back to another topic I'd like to remind everyone. We're not America, okay? Or America, as some people say. We are the United States, or USA. America is goes from the north of Canada and Alaska all the way to the tip of South America. That is America. It's a continent, like Africa is a continent. And there are a lot of countries in Africa, but I don't know if when you say Africa, you're speaking of a specific country. And we say America, we assume everyone knows it's about us. It isn't all about us. It isn't. Take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it. America is a continent. We are the USA, or the United States, whatever you want to say, or the United States of the Americas. It should be an S on the end of that. But I digress. Anyway, just a reminder, please, USA. I'm from the USA. USA. Okay. Moving on to September 11th. In 1939, the Long Beach San Pedro tropical storm, also called the El Cordonazo, makes landfall in Southern California. This event stands out in California's weather history as one of the rare tropical storm strength systems to affect the state directly. We don't typically have tropical storm systems. That's kind of reserved for Florida and, the East Coast, but for some reason. But anyway, apparently in 1939, we got one. And in 1988, I don't remember this, but I should have. I was around in 88. The 49ers fire rages at the Sierra foothills in Northern California, torching more than 33,000 acres. It becomes a sobering example of how wildfires, drought, and weather combine to transform lives and landscapes. And we've had several of those since, but on this date, September 11th. September 26th through the 27th, in 1846, I know that's a little while ago, a Battle of Chino, part of the larger struggle of the Mexican-American War, takes place. American settler militia are captured by the Californios. That's an interesting term. Are we Californios? I don't know. American settler militia are captured by Californios near Rancho Santa Ana in Del Chino, highlighting the tensions, loyalties, and upheavals in California's transition between Mexican control and the U.S. and U.S. governance. They were here first. Sometimes being first, you don't get to keep the prize. Why these dates matter. Each of these moments shows a different face of California. Its growth into statehood, its vulnerability to nature, storms, and wildfires, its borderline history where identities, laws, and communities shifted dramatically. They remind us that the Golden State is built as much on struggle and adaptation as on idealism. So that's your Rainbow Radio look back this week. Stories of storms, fires, battles, and the birth of a state, because it's not just what happened, it's how we remember what that shapes who we are. Just up. Join us next week, same time, same airwaves, for more on this day in history. Oh my, I outdid myself on that one.
Why does he look as a shoe? Maybe why does dog look as a
Oh, the Pet Shop Boys with a take on a Willie Nelson classic, always on my mind. Yes. But wait, there's more. There's more news. Yes, here on KXFM radio with Rainbow Radio, where every headline has a hidden truth and every story has a brighter side. I'm going to try and be more brighter. Oh my. Over the last 2 weeks, the global LGBTQ plus community has seen victories, setbacks, and lessons that matter to us all. We start off in Hong Kong, a step forward denied. In Hong Kong, lawmakers rejected a bill that would have recognized same-sex partnerships. The measure was narrow, but offering only basic rights like hospital visitation and post-death benefits. Yet, even that modest step failed. 71 votes against, just 14 in favor. Oh my gosh. This despite the fact that Hong Kong's top court had already told the government to create a recognition framework. So in other words, if that were 100%, only about 15% favor a law that would allow same-sex people to have hospital visitation and post-death benefits. That just seems really sad. For LGBTQ plus Hong Kongers, it was a bit of a reminder, even when the law says yes, politics can still say no. But see, that's not right. It shouldn't be, especially here. Although the law has always had the say, but lately politics seems to be becoming a major player over what laws are. But I digress. Sorry. Okay, moving on to the Vatican. Pilgrims at the Holy Door. Meanwhile, across the world in Rome, history was made. For the first time ever, nearly 1,500 LGBTQ plus pilgrims from 22 countries walked through the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. In a hand draped in pride colors, carrying a rainbow cross. They were welcomed. A bishop spoke of restorative justice for the marginalized. Doctrine may not have changed, but the doors, quite literally, were open. Oof, that warms my heart. Sometimes inclusion is not a law passed, but a door unlocked. Oh, that's so true. Okay, what next, Craig? Oakland Pride, unity in the streets. Here at home, Oakland marked its 15th annual Pride. The theme, in unity we thrive. Whoa, I think a lot of people would take a lesson from that or 2 pages out of that playbook. Thousands danced, they sang, they marched, and they celebrated. But amid the glitter and the music came a strong message. Trans rights are human rights. Pride remains a protest as much as a party. There you go. Okay, moving across the pond to London. What happened in London? Not all Pride headlines were joyful. In London, the High Court ordered suspended Pride CEO Christopher Joel Deschelles to give up control of the group's finances after accusations of misuse, including luxury spending and volunteer vouchers. The case has rocked one of Europe's largest LGBTQ plus organizations, proving that the fight for accountability isn't just in parliaments and courts, but it's inside our own institutions. Okay. And moving to Jojo Siwa, Identity and Backlash. And finally, from the world of pop culture, Jojo Siwa, I hope I'm saying that right, Siwa, once celebrated as a trailblazer for coming out young and proud, revealed that she's been bullied not by strangers, but by members of her own community. After ending a relationship with Chris Hughes, she says she was been flipped off in public, mocked online, and told she no longer belongs under the lesbian label. Her story sparks a larger question. Are we ready to embrace the full spectrum of queer identity, or do we still box each other in? Good question. We should have no boxes, I say. So, in reflection, in the span of 2 weeks, we've seen doors closed in Hong Kong, doors opened up in the Vatican, streets alive in Oakland, trust broken in London, and a young woman fighting for the right to call herself who she is. The stories are different, but the lessons are the same. Equality is not just a destination, it's a journey. And we walk together, sometimes stumbling, sometimes dancing, but always moving forward. And now you know the rest of the story. So that is our news roundup for the Rainbow Radio this week. We'll be tuning in next week, and we'll have just as much news with a Rainbow Radio spin on it.
For a while there it was rough, but lately I've been doing better than the last 4 cold Decembers I recall. And I see my family every month. I found a girl my parents love. She'll come and stay the night, and I think I might have it all. And I thank God every day for the girl He sent my way. But I know the things He gives, He can take away. And I hold you every night. That's a feeling I wanna get used to. But there's no man as terrified as the man who stands to lose you. Oh, I hope I don't lose you. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please don't take I found my mind, I'm feeling sane. It's been a while, but I'm finding my faith. If everything's good and it's great, why do I sit and wait till it's gone? Oh, I tell you, I know I've got enough. I've got peace and I've got love. But I'm up and night thinking I just might lose it all. Say, I want you, I need you, oh God. I need these beautiful things that I've got.
That was Benson Boone. And I mentioned last week, as you may recall, I would be back this week with some other songs he's sung, that classics. I think he did Bruno Mars, The Way You Are. And is that what it is? As You Are? Anyway, Bruno Mars and another one, Adele song, which he's been singing on tour. Unfortunately, there is no recording of them other than little snippets of here and little snippets there. So I apologize, but because he really does a brilliant version of Adele's song, which because the notes are so high and he can hit them all. He's an amazing entertainer, and he's just going full on around the country with live shows, and everyone sold out. So I just think that's great, and he's honestly seems like a very nice person. So anyway, that's my explanation of what is going on there with Benson Boone. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I should hit the mic off button on. Anyway, I failed to mention some coming attractions. I know I talked about our Powered by Community, which is our first gala fundraiser, which again is the September 26th. And also that Laguna Beach Pride is having a fundraiser for the Laguna Pantry for the holiday season, and that is December 14th. But there's also other attractions, and if you have an attraction that you want to share with me, I'm all ears. I'm not all seeing, all knowing. I might know a few things, but there's a lot more to know. I do know that I don't know everything. So that's one thing I'm definitive about. Anyway, coming attractions. Saturday, September 20th in San Diego, it's the San Diego Pride Center. The doors open for Out and Connected, an empowering professional development fair. So job seekers and career changers can shake hands with affirming employers, polish a resume, snap a professional headshot, and find their next opportunity, a fair not just for jobs, but for dignity. So that's in September 20th in San Diego, and it's San Diego Pride Center. So you can get more information there. September 26th in San Diego also. There's two events with one message. The first is Rise Above the Stigma 2025. It's held during National Suicide Prevention Month. This evening it's dedicated to conversations that matter, for lives that matter, a safe space, 18 and up, to learn on community and learn coping skills. And a second event across town at the Fiesta in the park. A Picture Gallagher Square alive with music, families, and Padres fans in San Diego takes on the Diamondbacks. It's a more than baseball, it's community under the lights. So that's at the Gallagher Square. And then moving along to October 3rd in Los Angeles, at the Village at Ed Gould Plaza, the Los Angeles LGBT Center presents Queer Sierra. I don't know if I'm saying Sierra 2025, Mariposas Sin Fronteras, I know Mariposas means flowers, but it must be flowers. It means butterflies. So Mariposa. So a light celebrating queer, a night, a night celebrating queer Latin culture, tradition reborn with rainbow flags, free to attend, priceless in spirit. So that's in Los Angeles at the Village at Ed Gould Plaza. And that is October 3rd. I would love to go there and do that. Yeah, maybe I will and report on. Or if you go, hey, give me a call back and tell me how it went. That would be great. Now, October and November in Orange County, there's a few things going on. Orange County turns its pages with an ever-growing calendar. Book Club in Fullerton, hiking meetups along the coast, arts and craft fundraisers in Costa Mesa, and yes, OC Pride Festival and parade stepping lively into autumn. Small gatherings, big parades, each one a reminder that pride thrives between the neighborhoods. So that's a brief overview of Orange County. On the horizon, look ahead and we'll see the year end is filled with Transgender Day of Remembrance. That's an important one. Across SoCal this November, World AIDS Day event on December 1st, candlelight vigils from San Diego to Santa Monica, and holiday mixers. Drag brunches and community toy drives bring sparkle to the season that once left many of us in the dark. So whether it's a jobs fair in San Diego or wings in Los Angeles or parades in Orange County, one thing is certain, pride marches on, and now you know the rest of the story.
It's Christmas time. I'm going to sing a little song for you.
KXRN LP, Laguna Niguel, Laguna Beach. KXFM on 104.7, KXFMradio.org.
Hey there, what's up, Laguna? I'm Janice Murray here with news. Our Community and Senior Center, the Susie Q, continues its 50th anniversary year, bringing people together for an open house on Saturday, September 20th from 9 a.m. to noon. Arrive to the strumming of the Ukulele Academy, led by local favorite Tom Joliet. And you might want to sign up for classes. He's great. Every guest receives a raffle ticket to win gift cards to local businesses, face painting for kids, and a succulent gardening workshop hosted by the Water District. Tech-savvy volunteers will be there to help you with your phone and laptop needs, too. Co-ed yoga fitness classes, line dancing, and playing bridge. This is one lively hub of activity. So come join us at the Susie Q on Saturday morning, September 20th from 9 a.m. to noon. And I'm Janice Murray for news on 104.7 KXFM. And now, here's Dave.
It's going to be a pretty nice afternoon across Laguna Beach, Janice, and that trend is going to continue into Monday. Then we start a little bit of a warm-up, but it's not a Santa Ana flow, and it's certainly no heat wave, just a little bit warmer, kind of what we're used to in mid to late September. So this afternoon, mainly sunny skies, 72 at the beach, the Hilltop 74, the Canyon 71. Partly cloudy skies with another delightful evening on the way. More and more clouds, really getting cloudy after midnight. 62 for the low. On Monday, early clouds and sunshine, 74. Let's take it up to 75 on Tuesday. Upper 70s for Wednesday and Thursday. That's my forecast. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray. Tune in, turn on to KXFM 104.7, Laguna's Community Radio.
Sunday nights at 10 p.m., the show is Moody. I'm your host, Dr. Marginus, licensed clinical psychologist. Join me as we talk psychology, a primer for therapy. So if you're thinking of going to therapy or you're in therapy, we are going to dive in, demystify it, and give it some context. Sunday nights, 10 p.m. on KXFM, Laguna's Community Radio. I'll see you then.
This disclaimer is a statement notifying listening audiences that any opinions expressed on our shows are not representative of Laguna Radio, Inc., its management, or its board of directors.
Oh, did you hear that? 72 degrees at the beach today. So, and it's a little overcast. I I'd say it's a convertible day. Put the top down or take the motorcycle or the scooter and go for a little cruise up PCH, because as you know, the heavy traffic we experience during the summer is dwindling with the more of the off-season time of year, and it makes it a perfect date for that. I also notice it's wonderful bicycling weather out there. The temperatures are mild, humidity is high, so you know your complexion you'll look fabulous. Stay hydrated and look fabulous. What can I say? I love it. I want to make a dedication song to a dear friend of mine living in the UK. And actually, it's to Lynn. And my thoughts are with you, Lynn. And it's one of our favorite songs that we've shared over the years. And yeah, okay. Here we go.
Getting right into after all everybody's dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the everybody's feeling warm, right? Such a fine night. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight.
Oh, and we're back here on KXFM on Rainbow Radio. I should say that if you have any comments about commentary or comments about music or comments about things that are going on in this world and in particularly in Laguna Beach, you know, let me know about it. Craig at rainbow-radio.org. Craig at rainbow-radio.org or Craig at kxfmradio.org. There's a multitude of ways to get a hold of me, and I would love to hear from my listeners, as I do, and I do read every one of them. So be sure to alert me to anything that's going on, and if you have comments or opinions, share those as well. Everything, it's all welcome. Now, this is another topic. I guess you know how I am. I have to have my topics, but I decided. We keep talking about the trade imbalance and using tariffs to punish and encourage and I think I have some thoughts, but my primary thought is that that's a symptom, not the problem. So keep that in mind. Americans are talking about the trade deficit. We hear it on the news, in campaign speeches, and even across kitchen tables, mine included. The numbers are staggering. More goods coming in than going out. Some folks shake their heads and say, if only we bought more USA made products, the problem would disappear. Notice I said USA made, not American made. Because, America is a continent after all. Anyway, but my friends, that deficit you see on the balance sheet is only the symptom. The fever, the illness lies much deeper. You see, for decades, factories dotted the American landscape. Steel mills in Pittsburgh, textile plants in the Carolinas, electronics assembly lines in California. Proud places where fathers and mothers built the middle class with calloused hands and steady paychecks. Yes, but slowly, quietly, those factories began to pack up and move overseas. Why? Well, the answer is complicated, and it has little to do with American workers' skill. It has everything to do with costs. Wages in developing nations were a fraction of what they were in Detroit or Chicago. Environmental rules, looser, sometimes non-existent in foreign countries. And foreign governments, hungry for growth, offered sweeteners. Yes, tax breaks, free land, and subsidies the American towns simply could not match. So what happens? Corporations saw an opportunity. Lower production costs, higher profits, shareholders smiling, and so the plants closed here and opened there. That's what happened, folks. The result? Goods came back to our shores cheaper, sometimes so cheap that local businesses couldn't compete. Jobs didn't just leave, they evaporated. And while Americans still found work, it was often in the service sector, far removed from well-paying manufacturing roles that had built the USA middle class. And here's the kicker. Even when you buy a product with an American logo, there's a good chance it was designed in California, financed in New York, but built in Vietnam, Mexico, or China. So what do? How do we stop chasing smoke and put out the fire? Well, first we invest in advanced manufacturing right here at home, robotics, clean energy, and innovation that levels the playing field. Second, we reform the tax incentives so that companies see value in staying put, not shipping jobs overseas. And third, we strengthen, we buy American policies, not as a slogan, but as a real commitment to government contracts, infrastructure, and defense. And finally, we prepare our workforce. We educate, we train, we open the doors to green energy, biotechnology, and the high-tech industries of tomorrow. Because the deficit is only the smoke. The fire is the migration of American industry. Unless we put the fire out, we'll always be chasing the smoke. So you see, folks, it has nothing to do with tariffs solving a problem. And now you know the rest of the story. And I'm unanimous in that. What can I say? And with that,
Your bones are like a child under you. Feel the magic in my veins. This must be love. silver or no gold. It could dress me up so good. You're the glitter in the darkness of my world. Tell me what to do. I'll fall right into you. The golden because the spell, just say the word. But I feel your love. Standing high, the beat goes on and on. With all your love.
Come on to me now. Boom, clap. That's what I say to my last editorial. So I have another one. We talked earlier on the program last hour about the inequalities in the wealth and the unwealthy and homeless, and how it's so many of the maladies of our country that we focus on that are serious come from I think, a lack of a very satisfied and powerful middle class. And so this one is called, this article, it's called The Haves and the Have-Nots. On Rainbow Radio, where every headline has a hidden truth and every story has a brighter side. Setting the stage. Today's story isn't about who you marry or the choices you make with your body. Mm-hmm. It isn't about distractions that dominate headlines or divide our neighborhoods. It's about something far deeper, a moral crisis that reaches Wall Street, towers to Main Street sidewalks, and the widening gulf between the haves and the have-nots. The haves. Picture this. In 1965, the average CEO made about 24 times what the typical worker earned. 65. I have to say, I do remember 65. Don't hate me for it. Anyway, that seemed high then, 24 times but today, no. Today, America's largest corporation CEOs make, on average, about 268 times more than their workers. And some companies, the ratio isn't hundreds to one, it's thousands. Well, I do believe if someone does an exceptional job and it's powerful and influential and can run a company and make it, they need to be rewarded. Maybe a bonus, but not an obscene amount of money forever and ever. So in 2024, the average Standard & Poor's S&P 500 CEO took home nearly 19 million. Boy, wouldn't I'd like to take home $500,000. And at firms paying the lowest wages, the gap has swollen to over 600 to 1. At Starbucks, the CEO made more than 6,600 times the average barista. Is he that much more valuable? I don't know. These numbers aren't just salaries, they're symbols of an economy that rewards a very few while the rest struggle to pay rent. The have-nots. Now let's look down the ladder. Millions of workers, often the very people we rely on for food, healthcare, deliveries, are victims of something more sinister. Wage shift. In the 10 largest states, 2.4 million workers lose a combined $8 every year because they're illegally underpaid. And how does that happen? Nationally, the losses reach well over 15 billion annually. They just pay less against the law's minimum wage. That's more than all robberies, burglaries, and shoplifting combined. Only this theft doesn't happen in dark alleys. It happens in daylight, with paychecks shortened, hours shaved, and overtime denied. Moving along to Act 4. These are in acts, if I didn't say that. We did 1, 2, and 3, so we're on to Act 4. The cost to democracy. Meanwhile, corporations funnel billions into lobbying, campaign coffers, and insider deals. It's not just economic imbalance, it's political capture. The billionaires class are buying the rules while the rest of us live by them. Robert Reich said it plainly. A moral crisis of our age has nothing to do with gay marriage or abortion. It's insider trading, obscene CEO pay, wage theft from workers, Wall Street's gambling addiction, corporate payoffs to politicians, and the billionaires' takeover of our democracy. And if we don't face that reality, democracy itself bends to the wall of the highest bidder. Act 4, the brighter side. We should have a brighter side in all this. I keep promising. There is a brighter side. History teaches us that this story doesn't have to end here. Workers once fought for the weekend and for a 40-hour work week and for overtime and for safety and the dignity of a fair day's pay. And they won. The same spirit has built those protections can build new ones with transparency, with accountability, with citizens demanding that fairness, not wealth, guide the rules of our democracy. Because the measure of a society is not how it treats its richest, but how it honors its workers. And now you know the complete story, a rainbow complete story. So there you go, the haves and have-nots. That was an interesting one. I'm going to step back to a song that was probably popular before 1966. And it's just a crazy one that I don't know why. I just feel compelled to play it. So, it's a crazy. I just reached out and grabbed a tidbit from obscurity. Brilliant, I say, my good man. Brilliant. There is a story behind that song, and I feel compelled to share it with you. I live in Southern California, near San Clemente, and before there was Mar-a-Lago on Florida, as we know, there was the Western White House, which was considered San Clemente, and the world famous president, it seems, was Richard Nixon. Okay, so there's the setup. In the 1990s and early 2000, my brother had a 66 Lincoln convertible. Yes, Lincoln made a 4-door convertible. And we thought it would be fun to drive it into San Clemente into the Western White House with a Richard Nixon for President bumper sticker on it. So I made up a phony Richard Nixon for President bumper sticker. You got to have some fun, folks, along the ways. It's not worth it. And I put it on the back of this Lincoln, which was a beautifully restored Lincoln. But and we would play that song, Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White is the name of the song, and blare it out of the stereo system in the car, which wasn't very high quality, but it worked. And we drive around San Clemente, the Western White House, with Nixon for president. And you know how many people would come up and say, "Is that a real bumper sticker?" And I'd have to say, "No, it's a magnet that looks like a bumper sticker that I made up." But well, you know, folks, it was a lot of fun. We started a lot of conversations, and people laughed, and you know, it's good fun. We should all find good fun all the time, but that song, Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White, I always think of those fun days in the convertible driving around San Clemente, the Western White House, with Nixon for president. What a wonderful time, folks. Okay, I've indulged myself probably a little bit too much there, but that was fun. I do have, back to reality, I don't know. I have to help myself. Anyway, I have an article titled Administration Hypocrisies. You know, I am still going on about politics, but here's the rest of the story. Good. America has always prided itself on calling out hypocrisy. Yes, that's right. It's when it sees it. And nowhere in recent history has there been more material to examine than in the actions of one Donald J. Trump and his administration. Let's take a look at the contradictions, the ironies, and the moments when the message and the messenger were at war with each other. Now, this is the part where I say it's an opinion, not necessarily those of the staff or administration of KXFM Radio or the board of directors. I've said it. It's my opinion. It's an opinion I'm supporting. Law and order. He called himself the law and order president. He promised to bring justice, fairness, and accountability, but the same president was ordered by the courts to pay $25 million for defrauding thousands of everyday Americans through a fake university that carries his name. While lecturing Harvard and other institutions about what they should teach, he conveniently forgot his own school was little more than a scam. Now you know the rest of the story. Drain the swamp was another one. He vowed to drain the swamp, clean Washington of lobbyists, insiders, and corruption. But who filled his cabinet? Goldman Sachs bankers, oil and coal lobbyists, billionaires whose wealth came from the very industries they were tasked to regulate. He rallied against nepotism in foreign governments, yet gave sweeping power to his daughter, Ivanka, and son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Drain the swamp? No, my friends, the swamp was restocked. And now the rest of the story. And fiscal responsibility. He accused Democrats of reckless spending. He declared he alone could fix the economy, but under his watch, before the pandemic even hit, the deficit exploded and the national debt rose by $8 trillion. He promised Mexico would pay for the border wall. Instead, Americans, taxpayers footed the bill. Fiscal restraint? The rest of the story. Okay, patriotism. He condemned athletes for kneeling during the national anthem, calling it un-American. Yet he himself insulted Gold Star families, dismissed decorated veterans, and according to multiple reports, called heroes who served in combat suckers and losers. He dodged service for bone spurs while mocking those who sacrificed everything. Everything. Patriotism only when it was convenient. Free speech. He claimed to be the champion of free speech, yet he branded the press as the enemy of the people, threatened to change libel laws, and tried to silence critics at every turn. Meanwhile, his preferred network, Fox Network, admitted in court that their broadcasts were not news, not at all, but entertainment. Yet he insisted their words were gospel truth. Free speech, more like selective speech. America first. He said America first. He scolded companies for outsourcing jobs overseas, but check the tags on his own products. Trump ties, Trump shirts, Ivanka's clothing line, all made in China, Bangladesh, Mexico. While he rallied against Beijing, his businesses quietly secured valuable trademarking from the Chinese government. America first? Faith and family values. He courted evangelicals and promised a moral leadership, but the man who claimed family values and bragged on tape about sexual assault paid hush money to cover up affairs and was accused of multiple women of misconduct. Then, in one famous moment, he held up a Bible in front of St. John's Church after protesters were forcibly cleared with tear gas. A Bible held upside down. Faith, or political theater. So, ladies and gentlemen, hypocrisy is not new in politics. Certainly, a lot of it preceded the current administration. But when the gap between what is preached and what is practiced sometimes becomes this wide, a reasonable person can't help but see the irony. Donald Trump promised to be different, but in the end, it wasn't the swamp drainer. He wasn't the law and order man or the moral leader. He was just the rest of the story. And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. So let's see, do we have another crazy song just to shake things? Oh, yeah, we do. We do. Because, this one is something we all need every day.
All day I face the barren waste without the taste of water, cool water. All dead and dry with throats too dry, souls that cry for water. Water. The nights are cool and I'm a fool. Each star's a pool of water, cool water. And with the dawn I wake, yawn and carry on to water. Water.
Keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's the devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you? Water. Ooh, dear water. The shadows sway and seem to say, tonight we pray for water. Ooh, water. And way up there you hear just where there's water. Ooh, clear water. Keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's the devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you? Water. Ooh, dear water. Cool, clean water.
Ah, yes, water. Water everywhere. Okay, we're going to have a semi-serious moment here because the elephant in the room I need to talk about from this week's news, and that is the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I want to expose what's beneath the noise so you can see the brighter side more clearly. That's my setup for this list. That is, it is. I have a list of topics on that are. I have five items, 5 segments in this. It's short, but the recent inflammatory remarks. After the killing of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, President Trump said, "We have to beat the hell out of the radical left lunatics." This wasn't a plea for peace. It was a rallying cry, one that turns adversaries into enemies with violence framed as the answer. Think about it. Earlier, speaking at a campaign event in Ohio in 2024, Trump warned, "If I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the country." He later explained that he meant economic consequences, but the words bloodbath evokes chaos, fear, violence. It's incendiary language in an already volatile climate. Number 2, mocks and insults after violence. When asked about the brutal attack on Paul Pelosi, Donald Trump mocked not just the event, but those involved. Among his commentaries were insults directed at Democrats, including mocking Nancy Pelosi. Reuters reported he compared Pelosi to a dog and called her just a crazy bedbug. After something as serious as an assault and a mockery sends a message, the pain, the fear, the suffering, not as something to mourn, but as something to exploit. Number 3, why these Republicans feed the flames of hate. Dehumanizing language, calling people lunatics, crazy, or just animal comparisons breaks down empathy. When you strip something of dignity and humanity, it becomes easier for others to justify mistreatment and even violence. Ambiguity and suggestion, using terms like bloodbath without clarifying content allows many interpretations, and violent ones are among them. Words matter. Suggesting dire catastrophic outcomes If one doesn't win, fuels desperation and grievance. Mockery in moments of trauma. When someone is attacked, when violence is real, mockery isn't a strategy for healing. It's an escalation. It causes pain, it deepens division, and encourages retaliation. Audience amplification. These statements are broadcast widely. Supporters hear them, opponents fear them. The middle is pushed aside. When the loudest voice gets rewarded with attention, others follow suit, often with even more extreme rhetoric. What true leadership looks like. A leader confronted with violence should speak clearly with moral authority. There's no room for both mockery and condemnation. Pick one, make it clear. Violence is wrong, unequivocally, whoever the target. Admit the gravity of loss and fear. Offer solace, not blame. Provide accurate context, but do not play with metaphor when people are in pain. Use language that rebuilds trust. We must come together. We must condemn violence. We must protect each other. Words like these might not stir the base in the same way, but they build a foundation under us and during stormy times. And the last, number 5, hope. Even now, amid the rhetoric and anger, there is hope. There have always been courageous leaders and citizens who refuse to fan the flames. Those who listen, those who look for truth, not applause, those who stand up and say, enough violence is wrong. Mockery is not strength. Unity is not weakness. If we raise our voices for some truths, if we insist our leaders do the same, then no moment of darkness is final, because democracy at its heart lives in human hands. And when enough hands reach out, instead of pointing, the darker forces begin to recede. And now you've heard the brighter side of the story. So, it is horrible what happens, and it's very disturbing and unsettling to think that it's gone on. But there, his family, you see pictures of his family and his kids, Chris, it's heart sickening. It's horrible. There is some statistics that go on a bit here about political violence in the United States, and so I do want to touch on that in my last few minutes here of this hour. We live in a time when politics feels like a blood sport. You've heard the headlines: attacks at rallies, extremists plotting violence, even killings in the name of ideology. And it begs the question, just how dangerous is America's political divide? I think that's what's on a lot of people's minds, people that are following the news. Since 1975, there have been about 3,600 murders in the United States tied directly to political motives. Not bar fights, not robberies. These are killings committed in the name of ideology. Now, here's where the story turns. Strip away the noise and you see a pattern. Of those thousands of politically motivated killings, the overwhelming majority trace back to right-wing extremism. Now, that's not propaganda. That's actual fact. That's information, and information has no prejudice. From hate crimes and militia violence to radically racially charged attacks, their share of record towers over the rest. Left-wing motivated murders, yes, they do exist, but far smaller numbers. Over 50 years, they account for fewer than 70 deaths. That's less than 2%. So when it comes to sheer devastation, Islamist extremists carried out the deadliest single act of politically motivated violence in the U.S. history, September 11th, which we just passed, an anniversary, 26 years. which alone claimed nearly 3,000 lives. But in the decades since, when you look at the ongoing tally of homegrown political violence, the statistics tell us something uncomfortable, yet undeniable. When Americans kill for politics, it's far more from the right than the left. And here is the hidden truth. These numbers remind us that political violence is not equal opportunity. It doesn't balance out. It has a shape, a source, and a trend line that every reasonable person can see if we're willing to look. So the next time someone tells you that both sides are just as violent, you can tell them the rest of the story. Because in America, political murders have a direction, and knowing that direction may be the first step in stopping them. Rainbow Radio, where the facts have a brighter side. Okay, I got that. I didn't know what I was going to say. I just felt like compelled. I need to say something. And it is horrible what's happening, and it's disturbing what's happening. And I'm done. I've said my piece, and we're going to move on here. I do have a song that is a classic. I think anyone who lives near the coast, whether it's the East Coast or West Coast, South Coast, wherever, it's a classic. That was Aker Bilk. I don't know where anyone would get last name Bilk, but an Aker. That's a classic, a true classic, a beach community classic. I want to remind everyone once again for Powered by Community event that's going on at where? The Rivian Theater. And when will it be? It will be September 26th. And what it is, it's a fundraiser for KXFM. It's our first gala, whatever you want to say. And it's there's entertainment, there's food. There's everything at the event. Drinks, I suppose that includes special kinds of drinks. I don't know. And great food. So that is coming up. We appreciate all the community, and if you appreciate what we contribute, this is a great way to share your gratitude. And for all the 80 volunteers that show up here on a weekly basis to to enrich the community on so many levels, and also be here in case if there's an emergency and way to communicate. We are here. We are strong, and we are ever present in everything that goes on here. Also, if you would like to comment again on any of the news that I present and the opinions, and if you have anything that's going on in the community that you'd like to discuss or share, be sure to let me know so I can share it with everyone, all our listeners out there, in that process. Do I have anything else? No, I had. I'm glad to have be able to share my ongoing commitment to praising California for all it is and why we love it and why we're here and all the things that make California a very special place. Some of my admiration goes for a little, I guess, a lesser known part of California, and that is the northern counties, Humboldt County, Siskiyou County, Shasta County. They're all wonderful spaces, and I think they're being rediscovered again in Northern California. And I still do have family up there. I shout out to Michelle and her family, Zach, and I don't know, all of her family. And in Northern California, there's wilderness areas up there that you can backpack in or you can rent mules and horses and go in for a week and stay in. One of my favorite places was the Marble Mountains, like marble, M-A-R-B-L-E, Marble Mountains. It's in the wilderness area. Look it up, folks. And then there's also the Klamath River now is celebrating a very strong comeback from the dams that have been removed. And that's a very controversial. I know some people don't agree, but it looks like it's been a couple of years now, and less than a year, I think, for one of the dams. But there's the ecosystem is thriving, they've discovered. And there's a lot of testaments to that. And it's not just ballyhoo or stories made up, but there's a lot of testaments to it, and you can check it out. But anyway, the Klamath River is a beautiful location in Northern California. I remember my dad, after a hard day of construction, he would take his truck and drive down to the Klamath River and go salmon fishing. And he'd bring home steelhead salmon, big salmon. Some of them were up to 28 pounds, I believe. These huge salmon that would come up to spawn in the Klamath River. And much of that went away with these dams because they could no longer traverse the river to their spawning grounds. And remarkably, they are traversing it and going back to these same spawning grounds. I don't know how it happens or how they know, because it's been generations that it's changed. But anyway, salmon fishing on the Klamath River. And salmon are very unusual fish in that they're both saltwater and non-saltwater fish. And they go up there laden with thousands of fish eggs. And when they spawn, they die, and the carcass of the fish becomes the food for the eggs. So it's a cycle that's really interesting. And yeah, so you don't have to go to the market to get your salmon if you live up in Siskiyou County. Right, Michelle? You just grab a buddy and go fishing, as I had done many times with my dad and family. So it's a romantic, I guess, area for me. It's quiet. There's no urban rush. There's no huge maladies that you see in larger cities. It is a wonderful quiet and yet thriving, beautiful community. And the county seat is Wairika. And Wairika Wairika Bakery, spelled backwards, is Wairika Bakery, if you know. But you have to move a letter. But nonetheless, I go on way too long. Anyway, thanks for tuning in on this Sunday for this version of Rainbow Radio. I do have one more crazy song that I want to play. And as I make my exit here, and it's Blame It on the Bossa Nova. So thanks for tuning in. Folks, please send me a message, a card, notes, whatever, anything you'd like to share or like to see on the program. I'm going out. It's going to be 72 degrees today at the beach, and the sun is peeking through the haze with about 80% humidity. So I will look fantastic. Oh, my God. Okay, here we go. Adios. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all.
I was at a dance when you caught my eye, standing all alone, looking sad and shy. We began to dance, swaying to and fro, and soon I knew